receiving, that's right. I was giving her the business, she receiving that pie. Moving like a plumber, yeah, it was a full one last night. I put 5 on it, wrote a paper plane to cash fly. See, many of these women think they could be that wide, but I'm chilling, nigga, yeah, I know it's cold, but that's live. Melting hearts and other body parts like some of that's eyes. Hit it from the backside, bust on stomach, ass twice. Man, I'm savage in that pussy, I don't have to act nice. Only rocking black, white, I'm a trendsetter. Bed wetter in between the legs, never messing with her head. Only getting brain ahead from a super season endeavor. If we on the red.
Welcome back. Hopefully less glitchy this time. You know, less bullshitty this time. That would be nice. But we'll see what happens. You can't always get what you want in this world. Life comes at you fast. I'm the host of this here channel, and I do this shit every day of the week. Sunday live chat, Monday matchmaker, TKO Tuesday, hump day, CP units, watch alongs on Saturdays, and we do it all over again. I'm Gav. You're watching One More Round Fights. I give you guys MMA and boxing tips, picks, parlays, tricks, all that shit. And I'm back again with another clubber, subber, dubber week for you. Now, another fucking week where it doesn't cash. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's okay. We're playing the numbers game. Law of averages. Okay? Don't worry. We will hit. It will come. These fighters win like this. They can't all fuck up all year long. This can't happen. We may have to dumb it down to 2-leggers instead of 3-leggers. I don't know. Strategies will change, but dubs will come. I promise that. I do. If you haven't already been subscribed to the channel, please stop being a bitch and come on. Subscribe to the channel. What the fuck are you waiting for? The second you do it, your life changes for the better. Like I told you. Found $20 in my pocket the other day. Friend came over out of nowhere, dropped off a couple hundred on your boy for no reason. Your life changes for the better once you join One More Round Fights. Please. I tell you this just as a friend. Do it. It's for the best. One More Round Fights. All right. Scan that QR code. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Also, don't forget to follow us on social. That's where we put out the parlays. That's where we put out social graphics. That's where we put out parlays that don't hit. Yeah. One More Round Fights everywhere except for X. Fuck you, Elon. It's One More Round F8 there because of a character limit on X. One More Round Fights everywhere else. And don't forget to follow Main Card Minute. That's where I put belt to ass on prop quiz. You already know what the fuck goes down over there. You already know what the fuck goes down. Watch alongs. But yeah, man. Not a lot of shit going on, if I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm going to be completely freaking honest with you, peeps. The first thing we like to do on Mondays is we like to give you guys some matchmaking updates. And not really any matchmaking updates to keep you on tab with. Nothing really has been announced besides that UFC White House card. That was the big announcement. Francis Ngannou being added to the Netflix card, the co-main for Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. That has been, a thing. But nothing too crazy. Now, if you're a Tai Tuivasa fan, and you're an Australian ready to celebrate a big win for your boy. Well, guess what? We finally have a fight that could stop his 6-fight losing streak. Okay? Taito Ivasa faces Sean Sharaf, Australia, May 2nd. His return and possibly his last UFC fight ever if he doesn't get a win here. Maybe even if he does get a win. Fuck. But many fights announced for this card. Jack Della Maddalena facing Carlos Pradas to headline it. Steve Erceg takes on Tim Elliott on the same card. Yeah. Pretty cool. Kim Rouston has a fight against Robert Brizic. Junior Tafa faces Kevin Christian at light heavyweight. And Jacob Malkoun and Gerald Meerschaert. Jacob Malkoun. Perth card's heating up, man. Not too many bangers on there, but we got some name value being added left and right. And I'm not mad at it. UFC Perth May 2nd. That's going to be a banger. Those are the fights that have been announced so far. Other than that, it's pretty standard, man. You know, we have what was it? Aljamain Sterling taking on, who is it? It's Aljamain Sterling and Yusuf Zalal, April 25th at the Meta Apex. That's been announced. That's a headliner. Okay, so that's, less than 2 months away. At this point, Chimaev Strickland, May 9th at the Prudential Center. That has been announced as well. For those that don't know, Sean Brady, Joaquin Buckley is on that card. I believe that was supposed to be the Apex, but they might have moved it to Jersey. Yeah, Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley was supposed to be at the Apex, but they have now moved that fight to May 9th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. So all that promotion that Sean Brady didn't want to do because they were fighting at the Apex, guess what, buddy? Get back to promoting. Joaquin Buckley and you are fighting in front of a crowd in Jersey. And I got my boy Buckley always. No offense. I know Sean Brady's a morning combat fighter. All right. Also, Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov on that card. Ateba Gauthier taking on Osman Diaz. Yeah. Alexander Volkov, Waldo Cortez Acosta. A Dominique Papi. I know black. Shout out to USA, baby. Shout out to USA. You know what I'm talking about. You seen that baseball game last night. I know you seen it. But anyways, yeah, so there's, not too many updates in the world of matchmaking besides that. Just a couple cards got set up for later in the year. We have the Prohash Goldberg card. Everybody knows about that. That card's basically entirely set. We've known about almost all of those fights this entire time. The new one was Curtis Blades, Josh Hokett being added at heavyweight. But everything else we've known about for a while. So, and the Gastelum Luque fight is indeed at middleweight for those that were wondering. Those that are like, how's that fight going down? Yeah, that's going down at middleweight. Not welterweight. Gastelum couldn't make welterweight if he fucking tried anymore, okay? What are we doing? We think he can make welterweight? Stop. And besides that, nothing crazy in the matchmaking world being announced to this point. Nothing too crazy. All these cards have been announced already. They've been set in stone. Arnold Allen, Melky Costa at featherweight has been announced for May 16th at the Meta Apex. Arnold Allen, Melky Costa. Melky Costa gets a big jump in name value at featherweight, so shout out to him. Song Yadong, Davison Figueiredo, May 30th. We know that's UFC McCall. Pavlovich versus Taliesin Teixeira's on that card. Zhang Mingyang versus Alonzo Menafield. Is that a rematch? It is not a rematch. Zhang Mingyang versus Alonzo Menafield on that card. That's about it. I think everybody knows Muhammad versus Bonfim. Bilal Muhammad, Gabriel Bonfim, June 6th at the Meta Apex as well. That'll be an interesting matchup, grappler versus grappler. So, yeah, those are all the matchmaking updates that I have for you currently. PFL's coming this week. UFC's coming this week. I'm sure they're going to have some fight announcements as well then. But yeah, those are all the matchmaking updates. Now we come for what we actually came here to do this Monday morning. That's right. We came here to matchmake for our UFC Vegas 114 card, baby. So let's do it. This is what we came to do, right? This is what we came to do. Now, the first bout that we have to talk about is obviously the main event. And we did already matchmake for them. So don't forget about that. Okay, we had Kevin Vallejos defeat Josh Emmett via TKO punches, round 1, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay, now we said the two ideal matchups based off the landscape of the division currently. Now, let me appease you quickly. I hate when shit does this. So if we're looking at the rankings, right? Which here I have them right here. So let's just do that first and foremost. If we're looking at the rankings in totality, go down to featherweight. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Go down to featherweight, and you're going to see that Josh Emmett is sitting at number 11. Now, you got to assume that Kevin Vallejos is going to jump into that spot and everybody else is moving down. Maybe Melky moves into 11 and Vallejos moves into 12, something like that. And then maybe everybody else moves down. Okay? Something like that is going to happen. That's the shakeup. I can't think he goes above Ortega with that performance. He kind of should. Ortega's kind of just there off of name value at this point. But it would make sense for me if he fought Brian Ortega next. Now, if you quickly look here and look at the landscape of featherweight in the UFC, ignore all the PFL names, but you can see that right here. Brian Ortega is one of the only featherweights that doesn't have a fight besides Yair Rodriguez, which is too high of a jump, and Yair probably is not even thinking about taking that fight. Right? Brian Ortega kind of taking young up-and-comers these days. And look at that. We have Gene Silva, who fought him already in the Contender Series. That rematch is always on the table. And that's why I say Gene Silva as well. Gene Silva is a solid matchup. But even if you don't do one of those, everybody's booked, dude. Look at this shit. Patricio's taking on Pico. Yusuf's taking on Aljo. Larone's taking on Evloev this weekend. What else? Arnold Allen taking on Melky Costa. Kevin Vallejos just fought. Obviously can't fight himself. Who the fuck is this? And Pat Sabatini is one of the only other names in the UFC that is unbooked at featherweight right now. If you just strictly look at featherweight, just checking out the division as a whole, those are the only names that are available. So, those are the only names that I shall provide for Kevin Vallejos. Everything else doesn't make sense. The winner or loser of Lerone Murphy Evloev is not taking on Kevin Vallejos. And Vallejos himself said he wanted to slow roll his play at featherweight. He doesn't want to fast track his rise. So there's no matchups to be made. What am I going to make? Are there any other featherweights on that entire card? Luke Riley, Michael Aswell. That's what we're going to do against Kevin Vallejos. Nathaniel Wood, Losane Keita, any of those guys? No. None of those make sense. So the only guys are in the landscape of the division are Sabatini, Brian Ortega, and Gene Silva rematch. Those are the guys that aren't booked. That's it. As for the loser of this bout, obviously they deserve a matchup as well. And obviously I'm not going to give them one of those names. But since they lost, I could give them somebody outside the top 15, which makes it easier to matchmake for them. And guess what? Josh Emmett, you have a rematch on the horizon, or you have a former opponent of the guy you just lost to on the horizon, because that's just how matchmaking works. Okay? You can get it back against Dan Ige. That's right. I mean, sorry. I believe Josh Emmett beat Dan Ige. I'm tripping. I am Trippy Sticks, right? Yeah. Josh Emmett beat Dan Ige, but this would provide him a chance to get back on the horse, okay, after suffering his first TKO loss in nearly 5 years. All right. And he'd be facing an older guy that not old in the sense that he's old, but a guy that's been around for a long time and has fought the best of the best in the division as well. Always willing to come forward and swing them leathery hands. Okay. Dan Ige. They fought last UFC 269, December 11th of 2021. This would be a rematch 5 years in the making. They also fought in Vegas. Bring it back to Vegas. I'm not mad at that fight. And if we don't do that, then Giga Chikadze just lost the fight to Kevin Vallejos as well. They surprisingly have never fought. So Giga Chikadze, also an older guy in age. Also a guy that hasn't fought as many people as a Dan Ige, but has fought a good sample size. So Giga Chikadze against Josh Emmett would be a sick fight as well. I'm not mad at that matchup. I'm not mad at all. Let's bring in the chat. Josh Clow 45 says, I'm a new streamer. I'd love to chill with you or play with you sometimes if you're down. Add me on Discord. Let's vibe together. I'd love to beat you up in UFC 5. I'm creating a little class of people that are willing to fight in UFC 5. So maybe I'll include you, Josh Clow. If you're on Xbox, include your gamer tag. Drop that. Cosmo says it's time to go to another South American country that's not Brazil. We have plenty of fighters from Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, Argentina to make a fun-ass card in Buenos Aires or Santiago, Chile. Ooh. What's up, fellas? Says Octopus with No Friends. What up, brother? Octopus with No Friends also says packing that bing. Oh, yeah. Dr. Ned Cashy. What's up, bro? Giga matchup sounds good, right? That's what I'm feeling. The Giga Josh Emmett matchup, they both got KO'd by the same guy. So there's similar timelines, not the same, but similar timelines. It just makes sense to me. Cosmo says winner of Pico versus Pitbull would be fun for Vallejos. That would be a good, solid young matchup. That would be. That's a good matchup on the horizon. That would be solid. Pico Pitbull winner. Even loser. If Pico loses to Pitbull, Pico Vallejos is a banger because he could lose by decision. And if Pitbull loses to Pico, Pitbull to stop a young, hungry, heavy-handed guy. We've seen him do it before, you know? And then Octopus with No Friends. He says, smash that like below. Smash that like. Don't forget to like this. If you're enjoying the matchmaking, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like, baby. Moving on the card. We have to talk about the ladies in the co-main event spot. Gillian Robertson defeats Amanda Lemos via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Again with these rankings. There's all right, let's say women's strawweight is a little more open at the time, but even that openness doesn't provide a lot, if that makes sense. You'll see what I'm saying in just a moment. Let me bring in the rankings again. So if we look at the UFC rankings once again, let's take a look at our ladies at women's strawweight. That's our third column in the middle there. Right? Yeah, strawweight. Zhang Weili probably fighting for the title against Dern. I believe that was announced, if not. But Suarez has a fight booked. I believe Jandiroba has a fight booked. Yan Xiaonan does not have a fight booked. Take a look at this, please. Looking at the landscape of featherweight, Weili doesn't have a fight booked. Maybe it'll get booked soon. Maybe I just leaked. Mackenzie Dern doesn't have a fight booked. Verna has a fight booked against Tabitha Ricci. That's what happens. That's April 4th. Tatiana has a fight against Lupita Godinez. Yan Xiaonan does not have a fight booked. Jillian just beat Amanda. They're right next to each other here and in the rankings. Yan Xiaonan sitting at 4. Gillian Robertson sitting at 8, but after she beat Amanda Lemos, you got to think she's going to be sitting in the 5 spot. They're going to be right next to each other. That's a perfect matchup. That's a perfect matchup. Why wouldn't that make sense? You know, that's easy to me. That's a no-brainer to me. You guys in Long Island getting all this snow the Midwest just got soon? I hope not. I have the snowblower ready, though. That shit fucking ready, bitch. I bought that shit. I got the batteries. I just got to go charge it. Matter of fact, I should be charging that right now. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm pulling that shit out and I'm blasting the fuck out my patio, the sidewalk. I dare one of those fucking trucks to pass by and push some more snow in front of my house. I'm gonna blast him as he passes by with more snow. I'm gonna aim the fucking funnel right at his car. I hope I blast the fucking window out, bitch. I'm tired of that shit. Every time I'm shoveling, I get my house all clean. I'm done. Motherfucking street sweeper with shoveler comes by, pushes all that shit back in front of the driveway. I'm waging war now. I'm standing outside with my motherfucking thing, battery on high, ready to crank it as soon as you pass by. I dare you. I dare you. Pick that motherfucker up when you pass my driveway. Pick that motherfucker up, bro. Pick it up. Tired of that shit. And then for Amanda Lemos, Denise Gomez. Denise Gomez. Going back to the rankings I just pulled out. Oh, whoops. Let me take that a step backwards. Went too early. Yeah. She's gonna move down a little bit. But Amanda Lemos kind of took a little L here. I seen a Denise Gomez sitting in that 12 spot. The reason I'm looking at Denise Gomez is because if you do look at these strawweight rankings, currently Fatima Klein doesn't have a fight booked either. She's in that same echelon. Pierre Rodriguez just got a big win here. But Denise Gomez, solid ranking over here, higher than she should be, obviously. But she doesn't have a fight booked, and a lot of these girls just fought. I could see Pierre Rodriguez and Fatima Klein getting it on. I could see them fighting. Jessica Andrade is probably not looking at these young contenders right now, but maybe that's the echelon that she's in. Amanda Ribas just fought against Tabitha Ricci. She usually takes a lot of time off in between fights, so I don't know about her. Angela Hill just fought Fatima Klein. I don't know if she's ready to fight another young, hungry fighter like that. She almost got finished in round 3. There's a lot of motion, a lot of movement down there, but I feel like if one of these girls is going to get a premier fight, it's going to be Fatima Klein or Denise Gomez if they're going to get a top 10 fighter. So one of them should get that Amanda Lemos fight, who has been failing the test of the top 5 time and time again. So I think she fights a below 8 fighter in her next fight, and it's going to be either one of those ladies, I believe. And I believe we could possibly see Amanda Ribas taking on Jessica Andrade. That fight sounds fun to me. I don't mind it. Some people probably find that ugly as fuck, but, I'm not mad at that at all. Yan gives Gillian a good matchup, even on the ground. Yeah, that's a solid matchup, And then, obviously, Gillian might have to heal up that knee, but Yan on the ground is defensive enough to not get finished by Gillian. And then on the feet, she could definitely control it. How many rounds does she take off Gillian? Does she take the first and Gillian takes 2 and 3 just like she did here? Or what does it look like? So I like that. Octopus says, get him, Gav. BC looking at strawweight rankings with a peach. I see you. But yeah, man, that's what I see for the co-main. As for the next fights, Jose Delgado defeats Andre Fili via split decision. 29-28, 28-29, 28-28. You get to fight someone that's as good as Fili off that win, but you don't get to really move up off that win there because everybody knows Andre Fili won that fight. Even Delgado knows Andre Fili won that fight. He was protesting his decision win as well in the moment. I like a Joe Anderson Brito fight for Jose Delgado. It gives a solid mid-range veteran that has been around through iterations of the UFC, that is very tough on the ground, very heavy-handed, very hard chin, won't give up in the fight, kind of like an Andre Fili, just a little bit of a easier softball, a softballer, a little more of an underhand throw for Jose Delgado. And keep in mind that Joe Anderson Brito TKO'd Andre Fili. Okay? So technically he'd be moving up because he'd be getting someone that beat Andre Fili. So I feel like this is one of the best matchups I could have made. This one kind of made itself, in my opinion. Joe Anderson Brito, Jose Delgado. Let's get it. And as for Andre Fili, I need to see him in a fun fight. I need to see him in somebody that'll give him a fight, that'll bring it right to him. Somebody that gets in a lot of decisions themselves and gets themselves in close fights, but is also willing to sling that leather, mix it up all ways throughout the fight. And surprisingly, I don't think they fought each other. So the person that I'm talking about is Morgan Charrier. Morgan Charrier and Andre Fili. That would be a good matchup. I feel like Morgan Charrier, the Frenchman, Andre Fili, the American. Let's get that going. That's a solid matchup. Almost like a ultimate journeyman matchup, like, oh, I'm the journeyman of the veterans. Well, I'm the journeyman of the younger guys. Oh, yeah? Well, let's put our powers together and see who gets a KO or who gets a split decision win. You know what I mean? That's what those guys do. So, yeah, Morgan Charrier, Andre Fili. Moving on, Marwan Rahiki defeats Harry Hardwick via TKO corner stoppage round 2, 5 minutes. I have 2 perfect matchups for each guy. Somebody that swings leather, but it's hard for them to find the TKO. They usually get it off volume rather than power. Haider Emil and Marwan Rahiki. Okay, that's a sick matchup for me. I don't know about you guys. I think that's pretty solid. And then for Harry Hardwick, he got $100,000, people. They're not cutting him. But he's in a position where he's lost a couple, and they got to see what they have with this guy. He hasn't looked the greatest in his matchups. He has fought admirably in those matchups, though. Kind of like this guy who's recently coming to the UFC, Con Offley, Harry Hardwick. Awfully Hardwick. Makes sense. Why not? Dr. Ned Kashu says, People's Champ Larry leg kick needs a win next. Would be a shame if he was cut. That's why Con Offley makes perfect sense. Con Offley's going to try to take him down. He doesn't have the power to hurt him. Harry Hardwick hurt Rahiki a couple times in that fight, landed with some power. If he heals that jaw up, Con Offley's going to try to take him down and keep him down. Harry Hardwick's going to try to take his head off. Kind of makes sense to me. John Jones versus the GOAT, Myktybek Orolbai, needs to happen. And then Rahiki is good, but I think they need to slow roll his big time with only 8 professional fights. Yeah, that's why I say Haider Emil. I think Haider Emil only has like 9 professional fights. Let's look. Let's look at Haider Emil real quick. Oh, shit. What the fuck did I type in? Haider Hudda email? Show me Hudda from Love is Blind. I mean, not Love is Blind. What's it called? From, yeah. Haider Emil has 13 pro fights, 11-2. And he's on a 2-fight losing streak. So oh, fuck. They fought already. I forgot about that. I forgot that they fought already, Haider Emil. Damn. All right. Then we have to do the matchup that I didn't want to do. Fuck. Oh, it's a featherweight. Damn, I forgot that they fought. Yeah. Oh, Haider Emil and Jose Miguel Delgado. That's what makes so much sense. All right, well, we can't do that fight because he knocked him out. So we actually have to rematch up our boy Jose Miguel Delgado. Some people say this guy's retired, but it would provide name value again. It would provide somebody from the area that's tough, gritty, hard to get out of there. But it would be too easy. Maybe Calvin Kattar would be too easy. Maybe we got to go younger and go Sean Woodson. Maybe we got to go Sean Woodson, Jose Miguel Delgado. That might be the matchup. Sean Woodson not too seasoned either. He's 8-2-1, right? What's Sean Woodson's record? Sean Woodson, MMA. Let's see. Sean Woodson's record. Yeah, 13-2, same type of record as and he lost to Dan Ige by TKO in his last fight. So he failed the professional step up test. He fought Charles Jourdain, Alex Caceres, Fernando Padilla. Yeah, that's it. Sean Woodson, Jose Miguel Delgado. That's it. I'm scratching the Hyder and Emil. I forgot that they fought. That's on me. That's got to be it, though. That's got to be it. Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson. That's what I need. Let me switch that up right there. Sean Woodson, Jose Miguel Delgado. I mean, sorry. Hyder Emil fought Jose Delgado, not Marwan Rahiki. Yeah, it does make sense for Hyder Emil because he lost to Jose Delgado. I'm tripping. But if you don't do the Joe Anderson Brito, then the Sean Woodson fight would make sense. I'd like that for Jose Delgado. Moving on. Ion Cutelaba defeats Oumar Sy in a freaking upset, dude. Who the fuck had this? Mounted guillotine choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 24 seconds. This was a shakeup. This is a huge shakeup because, you know, you were probably going to push Oumar Sy if you got a big finish win over Ion Cutelaba. You're probably going to push him pretty high, give him somebody pretty high ranked at light heavyweight. But now you're like, oh, you just got finished by Cutelaba. It wasn't even a decision. Like, you're not ready. I don't know what happened for you there. You didn't even look positive in this round that you lost in at all. So for young Cutelaba, I mean, he did turn back, a nice young guy, but also not the greatest win. It wasn't somebody that we're like, oh shit, he's a fucking hammer. It was Oumar Sy. We still had a lot to figure out about him, and this was the fight to figure out a lot about him. And you know, it is what it is. But luckily for young Cutelaba, he's been around so long that his name kind of stays near the top 25 of the division. So he's kind of still around those names. He's still around those names. Now, we're not talking top 15, any of that shit right now. Strictly looking at the top 25 of light heavyweight as the landscape of the division is world rankings. You know, Cutelaba in that 26th spot. I'm seeing a lot of names here without fights. And the one that makes the most sense to me, like, we're not giving him a ranked fucking Alexander Rakic. Like, stop it. Stop it. He just beat Oumar Sy down here. Almost, he's going to drop down below 50 probably after this. He might have to fight Adolfo Bellato or some shit after this. But anyways, Jimmy Crute, bro. They've somehow never fought. Jimmy Crute and Ion Cutelaba have somehow never met in the cage. So I'd love to see that matchup. I know I've been matchmaking Jimmy Crute with almost everybody at light heavyweight. The guy needs a fight. Let's book him. And this is another possible matchup for Jimmy Crute. Ion Cutelaba, this is high donk activities as well. You know, imagine Ion Cutelaba coming forward and then Jimmy Crute dropping, and then him coming forward, and then Jimmy Crute somehow going for a guillotine even though he has him hurt, and then Cutelaba getting on top and almost ground and pounding him, and then Jimmy Crute giving up the back, and then Cutelaba almost subbing him, and then he turns, and then Jimmy Crute gets into his guard. And bro, that fight's gonna be fucking sick. Ion Cutelaba, Jimmy Crute. That's a banger. That's a banger. You could do that in perf. Add that shit to the perf card right now. What are we doing? And for Oumar Sy, you got to get tested again, bro. And a guy that's been testing people at light heavyweight recently, Adolfo Bellato. I just mentioned him. We saw him in those rankings below there, right around that range. I would love a Adolfo Bellato, Oumar Sy matchup. And if we didn't do that, we'd test him with another young guy. What about a Billy Elicana matchup for Oumar Sy? Slow roll Billy Elicana a little bit. I know we gave him a solid matchup last time out. Give him another guy that's solid in the division. That'll give him a test, a real test about, you know, skill and gas tank. Billy Elicana, Oumar Sy is not a bad matchup as well. All right. We move to flyweight, though. Oh, yeah. Flyweight. Men's flyweight. Let's talk about it. If you don't know, Charles Johnson got a skinny ass decision against Bruno Silva, split 28-29, 29-28, 30-27. Some strange scorecards there, but another case where the rankings are going to dictate exactly what happens next. If you look at these UFC flyweight rankings here, you can see in the lower echelon of the division, we have in the 13th spot Tagir Ulanbekov, and in the 14th spot Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson took a short notice fight against a non-ranked opponent, got himself the win. Sorry, A ranked opponent in the 15th spot, got himself the win and defended his spot. I think he deserves to look upwards. We know that Steve Erceg is booked against Tim Elliott in a back-to-back fight in the division. We know he lost that fight to Alex Perez. He's not going to get someone above Alex Perez. Brandon Moreno just lost. Amir Albazi not looking down. The only guy right here that makes sense in the landscape of the division is Tagir Ulanbekov. And if we go ahead and take a look at the landscape of flyweight for the men's division, go ahead and scroll down here. Orval not a fight booked, but just got knocked out. Loner just beat Moreno. Kaikar France needs a fight, but he's not getting someone that high. Amir Albazi doesn't have a fight. He's not getting someone that high. Suam Abayev might have just booked a fight. He's not getting someone that high. Tagir doesn't have a fight booked. Look at that. Tagir don't got no fight booked. No, he don't. No, he don't. And look at Charles Johnson. Look at that. A chance to move upwards. Moving on up to the flyweight rankings, to the flyweights. You feel me? Let's fucking do it, Charles Johnson. Put that little fluff on the back of your head and style that up real nice and go get that Russian, baby. Go get that Russian. Cosmo Alexander. We love to mention that, man. Just hope they don't fight in Australia or whatever, wherever this was. More like Khan awfully. Absolute robbery in his last win. Yeah. Yep. It is what it is. What would a Cutelaba versus RDR fight look like? RDR subby probably. I'd watch it. More donk activities. Like I said, when I was happy that RDR moved up from middleweight to light heavyweight, so many donk activities up at 205 where it's going to be a fun ass time, man. I can't wait for it. It doesn't matter who you book them against. Whether it's someone solid or someone donkey like a Cutelaba, someone like a Johnny Walker, it's fucking theater. We need to watch it. It is what it is. We'll find out Saturday night. You're not wrong. Crude is one of those fighters that can fight anyone. Get him in there, right? That would be a banger. What do you think of Cutelaba? I like him a lot. He's fun, man, and I like his weigh-in gimmick. He doesn't always do it these days, but I do love it. Paint yourself green, brother. Meaty has money on Polymarket on Cutelaba, future UFC champ. Those odds must be insane. Probably like a plus 80,000. Octopus, you're not wrong. Lazy, no, Meaty, you aren't wrong, says Octopus. Guess what, guys? Lazy line is rumbling. Lazy has some news for us. It's June 28th, Baku, Azerbaijan. Your main event. The headliner rhymes with Barman Saryukian. Azerbaijan. Oh, shit. What's Arman taking on our boy? Nazim Siddiqov? That would piss me off. I'd be like, God damn it. Why don't they give my guy a good fight? Lazy Bear going to be the MMA art belt. And then, bro, Cutelaba KOs RDR easily. You think so, me, Rocket? You think so? Lazy says, anyone but Art Medell, Octo. He sold my Browns once upon a time. But, yeah. So, speaking of matchmaking purposes, those are the guys I feel. Tagir Ulanbekov for Charles Johnson. And for Bruno Silva, who arguably won this split decision, but lost it in history, give him Joseph Boppo Morales. Give Boppo Morales a chance to crack into the top 15. Give him a grappler, somebody to stop his grappling and to see what he has on the feet and how it matches up against the top 15. Give Joseph Morales and Bruno Silva a chance at a fight. I'd love to see those two go at it. at men's flyweight. Myktybek Orolbai defeats Chris Curtis via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. I need to see someone stop wrestling somehow, and either two ways. I need to see someone with some great wrestling and anti-wrestling that might be new to the UFC that has a big name for themselves, or I need to see somebody that can gilly his ass or darce his ass or something. I need to see something at 55 for Myktybek Orolbai because a striker can't do it. A striker can't do it. They can't deal with the grappler. I need to see somebody with striking and grappling. And you know who those two names are for Myktybek Orolbai at welterweight? It's Yaroslav Amosov, PFL and Bellator newcomer, PFL and Bellator former champion. Yeah, I'm talking about Yaroslav Amosov, baby. That's who I'm talking about. I need to see him versus Myktybek Orolbai. He could stop the wrestling and make him strike. And if he does get taken down, he has some grappling and some reversals that he could get into it. He could game plan against Myktybek Orolbai. I like to see those two go at it. And if not, what about Joel Alvarez? Joel Alvarez has a motherfucking Darce on him. Hold on. Let me look at Joel Alvarez's record. Let me look at Joel Alvarez real quick. All right. And you should too. Why am I keeping him to myself? You should too. Joel Alvarez, brother. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Did I not matchmake perfectly there? On a 4-fight win streak, beat Mark Jacasey by sub, 2 knockouts, and a decision over Vicente Luque, who is a fantastic fighter at welterweight, by the way. That was in his debut, okay? If he has that much of a performance at welterweight, upcoming from lightweight, by the way, just like a Myktybek Orolbai, chat, did I not just fucking cook? Tell me I just fucking cooked. Tell me I just fucking cooked. Joel Alvarez, Myktybek Orolbai. Give me that. Give me that. I need that. Have you? They haven't fought. They have not fought. It's perfect matchmaking. Give him a sub guy, somebody that'll make him apprehensive to use his grappling at welterweight. If not, give him a guy that could anti-wrestle, that could grapple against him. Give him Yaroslav Amosov. I just fucking cooked. I just fucking cooked at welterweight. I'm the matchmaker now. All right. I'm the matchmaker now. And if you didn't think I just cooked there, well, watch me cook here. You ready? Chris Curtis versus Jeff Neal. How is that not a banger? Tell me how that's not a banger. Tell me how that's not a banger. I mean, let me look at Chris Curtis. And I have another guy if you don't like that. If that doesn't get your rocks jollied, just wait. Just wait. I got something for you. All right? Why not? Why not a Chris Curtis matchup? Chris Curtis, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal took a hellacious KO, but he's going to want to get one back. He's going to want to keep it on the feet against somebody that's going to want to stand in there and fight him again. He's gotten those matchups, you know? And Chris Curtis is probably tired of these grapplers. He wants somebody that's going to swing that leather, allow him to showcase his skills. Jeff Neal will do that at welterweight. Chris Curtis, Jeff Neal. The battle of the two first names. Why not? Why are we not doing this already? Chris Curtis, Jeff Neal. Please, please let that happen. And if we don't let that happen, what about Carlos Leal? Carlos Leal is down at welterweight, right? He also came over from the PFL and fought in Bellator, all those other promotions. They somehow never met. They somehow never met in the cage. Look, peep this Chris Curtis. Let's peep his wiki. Drop down to here. You see that he fought in the PFL. He ran into Ray Cooper, Magomed Karamov twice. Andre Fialho, UFC fighter as well. Let's do the Carlos Leal fight. Somehow never ran into him. Fought Bilal in Hoosier Fight Club 21. Didn't even realize that. But yeah, Chris Curtis, Carlos Leal, Chris Curtis, Jeff Neal. Those are the matchups that I need. That's what I need, gang. All or nothing. All or nothing. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to our next matchup. Vitor Petrino defeats Stephen Asplin via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Guys, I got another perfect matchup. Another guy that moved up, moved down, moved up, moved down. Another guy with some grappling that likes to get people down at light heavyweight and heavyweight. A guy that has some striking. These guys are kind of yin and yang a little bit. If he's a striker that can somehow take it down to the ground at heavyweight, he's a grappler that can sometimes strike at heavyweight. This is a good matchup. and guys that don't have the greatest gas tank at whatever division you put them at, that would be solid for each other. I'm talking about Ryan Superman Spann and Vitor Petrino. That's a solid matchup. I know. I cooked. I know. You could put that in Brazil. You could put that in America. You could put that wherever you want. Vegas. Vitor Petrino, Ryan Spann. I got you. I cooked. I know. And then Steven Asplin, Kennedy and Zichukwu, or Jonathan Denise. Those are the only two names I like for him. I need to see a couple young guys with some striking, that have some chins on them that could test them again. I need to see that kind of matchup again. He kind of passed, kind of failed here. He looked great in round one, and then the gas tank, didn't do him so well. Both of these guys would test him in that way. Kennedy isn't the best in gas tank wise, but he could win a decision for sure. And Jonata, seems to let some of these decisions get away from him. Can Steven Asplin get a win over a guy like that? So I would like Steven Asplin to take on one of those two guys. Those would be solid matchups. Armenian fighting in Azerbaijan makes no sense. There's no way they do that. They literally just have various border conflicts and small battles. You never know. You never know. That's as close to a racist joke as I'll ever let myself tell. What was it? Armenian headlining a card in Azerbaijan. All right. And then very much so Cosmo. He's like a mascot. Octo, no. Me Rocket. Anyone with a bite. Okay. And then you picked Con Awfully. The other update of the day, it'll only matter to some of us. Rumors that KSW double champ Saladin Parnasse will be on the undercard for Rousey versus Carano. Okay. I'm not mad at it. Not the name I was expecting, but solid name adding. I read that one. And then Gaff, I wish we could get you on MK, man. We need more cooks cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, I hit him up. Maybe they'll get me on. We'll see. We'll see. But I have put my name in. I put my name in the hat. I have done that. So it's up to them. The ball is in Morning Combat's court. So it's up to you guys to spam that chat to let them know, yo, you should have Gaff on. Chrissy Curtis needs to stop being so delusional and emotional after his fights. It's fucking embarrassing and predictable at this point. Damn, with the Sal Diamato emoji. I mean, it is what it is, man. We know a fighter's DNA is a fighter's DNA, like we say all the time. And Chris Curtis's DNA is his DNA. If somebody's really good at taking people down, could hold you down, Chris Curtis is gonna lose. Kopilov even did it to him, and Kopilov isn't even that much of a wrestler, but he turned into one against Chris Curtis. Hurt him a couple times and dropped him at the end of that round 3, forcing the referee to call it a TKO. It wasn't a TKO in our hearts, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. His opponent is a former Dana White Contender Series fighter who recently fought out his contract on the PFL. Gaff today. And another one, says Octopus, with the PFL. So I picked Con Awfully too, says Me Rocket. Me Rocket, they fight in active war zones. Don't overthink it. Myktybek versus Jacoby Smith. That's a banger too. I like that DJ Serenity now. Myktybek versus Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith just is a motherfucker, man. I don't know if you want to put two hot-ass prospects like that. That's hot. Those are hot prospects. I gave you Amosov and Joel Alvarez. They're like fringe hot. They're like lukewarm. You know what I mean? They're like, they have a chance to be hot. So does Orolbai. But Jacoby Smith is on fire right now. And that's tough. That's a tough one. And then do you remember Rachel Ostovich Burton? Does that answer your question, Meat Rocket? Meaty, and I'm not talking about you, Meat Rocket, talking about Rachel. Ooh, says Octopus. And then don't be emotionally cheating on Lauren Murphy now, Meaty. All right. Couple more matchups. We got 5 matchups left before MK starts and only 8 minutes to do it. So let's do this quickly. Elijah Smith defeats Su Young Yu via submission rear naked choke round 2, 1 minute and 4 seconds. Initially, I was going to say Damon Blackshear, but I don't want to put Damon in that position again. He already had a lot of these tough young up-and-comers. I'd say Saeed Nurmagomedov. Didn't he just pull out of a fight? He needs a punishment. Elijah Smith would be that punishment. Give him Elijah Smith, baby. And for Su Young Yu, give him Kileng Aori on a Macau card or some shit. Kileng Aori. He just lost by finish. Manuel Souza defeats Balaji via knockout punch round 3, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I like Austin Hubbard for Manuel Souza. It'll give somebody that has a good gas tank that could slow the fight down, push forward, and see what we have out of him. Balaji was almost able to do that, but again, he succumbed to that punch in round 3. Austin Hubbard, let's see what he's got. And for Balaji, I like a Nick Mata fight. Nick Mata, why not? That'll be a fun fight. Guys will go into the center and bang. It has opportunity to not go the distance, but there's a chance for Nick Mata to slow the fight down as well and take it the distance. So I like that fight for both guys. At middleweight, Eric Anders defeats Brad Tavares via unanimous decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. With that type of win, Eric Anders deserves some name value because he's been around for so long and because of the guys that he's beaten already in his echelon of the division. We kind of, by circumstance, have to push him up. I'd like for Eric Anders to take a guy on that, by circumstance, has to push down based of all the guys that he's lost to in his echelon of the division. I feel like these guys are on a crash course for each other in the way that their careers are projecting at the moment. What about Eric Anders and Marvin Vettori? These guys are like kings of the middleweight decisions. You know what I mean? Eric Anders, Marvin Vettori. I would have said that for Brad Tavares if Marvin Vettori had won. If Marvin Vettori had lost and Brad Tavares had won. But this is the fight that I see for Eric Anders because I believe they might train together, Vettori and Tavares. If they don't, they possibly used to. So Vettori and Anders makes sense to me, and I don't think they've fought before. So that would be a solid matchup. And for Brad Tavares, Marc-Andre Barriault. These guys have been doing the same exact things. Decisionators of middleweight, tough fights, tough outs. They're similar guys that keep losing on, not the greatest record in their past 5 to 6 fights. I'd like to see them go toe-to-toe. Brad Tavares, Marc-Andre Barriault, and I don't think they fought each other either. Let me double-check that. Brad Tavares. I feel like they somehow haven't fought each other. Barriault somehow has been around for a while too, but I don't think they fought each other yet. Looking, yeah. Seen Greg Rodriguez, Shabazian, Adesanya. Forgot about that. Rob Whittaker, even Nate Marquardt, Yoel Romero, Lorenz Larkin even. But yeah, no Marc-Andre Barriault. So Marc-Andre Barriault and Brad Tavares. That's a solid matchup next. 3 left. Bia Mesquita defeats Montserrat Rendon via submission, rear naked choke, round 1, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. This girl just fought on the last card. She put up a good decision fight against her opponent, Ernesta Caraquete. She failed the grappling test. Let's see if she could pass this one with a little bit of a greener opponent, somebody with better grappling credentials. But if she could keep the fight on the feet and negate her takedowns, then Ernesta Caraquete could absolutely win this fight on the feet with her kickboxing credentials. So I would like that for Bia Mesquita in her next fight. Slow roll her. Don't give her too hard of a test next. Also give her another striker to be able to deal with, and somebody that, won't immediately take her out with a KO. And for Montserrat Rendon, Irina Alexieva, I'm not elaborating on that fight. Hector Sosa defeats Luan Lacerda via unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Hector Sosa needs somebody that could slow the fight down, just like Luan Lacerda did, but somebody that could have more offense against him, which is why I see a Brad Katona fight. Hector Sosa, Brad Katona, 2 powerhouses for the weight class, big, stocky, bulky guys at bantamweight. Brad Katona, Hector Sosa. I like that. And then for Luan Lacerda, maybe like somebody that can mix it up and make it fun just like he could. Why not Carlos Vera? I like a Carlos Vera, Luan Lacerda fight. That's a fun fight. And if not that, Haile Alatang. Why not that? And last but not least, at strawweight, Piera Rodriguez and Sam Hughes. Now, for Piera Rodriguez, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the rankings. Now, she is not going to be in the women's rankings per se in the UFC. The top 15, that is not where she's hanging out. Okay? The top 15, you have Alexia Tenara, Denise Gomez, Fatima Klein, Amanda Ribas, Angela Hill, Mizuki, all those types of ladies. Okay, so strictly looking at this right here, see that third column, Verna Jandaroba at the top, Mizuki at the bottom, that's her weight class. None of these ladies are in a position to fight Piera Rodriguez after she beat a lady that she fought already and beat already. That's not the type of opponent that you get off that. Okay. But if you take a look at the women's strawweight rankings right here, and you scroll down, you will see a Pierre Rodriguez hanging out right. Sorry, I guess she was next page. She must be 26. Oh shit. She is not ranked anywhere where I thought she was. Was she not there? Am I tripping? Pierre Rodriguez, where are you? Where the fuck are you? You should be fringe 15, but she's not. Oh, there she is. 14, right? Just beat Sam Hughes. She's not fighting Tisha Bennington. Yasmin Lucindo maybe makes sense. Denise Gomez, we already matchmaked her. Gillian Robertson's not looking down. She's looking up. None of these girls make sense. Maybe a Fatima Klein matchup, but Fatima Klein's probably not looking back either. Jessica Andrade is not fighting Pierre Rodriguez. Okay? So you know who I see? Mizuki Inoue. You see it right there in the 23 spot. She just fought Jacqueline Amorim October 25th. You know, obviously didn't go her way. Oh, actually, she did. She won? Oh, shit, she won. So why not? Let's do it. And the last but not least, for Sam Hughes, she lost to Pierre Rodriguez for the second freaking time in her career. Now, this is the fun part for her when we try to matchmake for Sam Hughes, because I tried several times to matchmake for her and found that she fought so many of these ladies already. You see Sam Hughes here in the 29 spot. All the way down here, she just fought Pierre Rodriguez. Tried to match her up with Stephanie Luciano. She fought her, beat her already. Tried to match her up with Luana Pinheiro. Fought already. Couldn't do that. Tried to match her up with, I think I went down to the next page. Who was it? Shauna Bannon. They already fought. Tried to match her up with, was there one more page? There's one more page. The point is, I tried to match her up with a couple people and couldn't get it. Okay, so the person that I see for her is Ariane Carnelosi or Karolina Kalkevich if Karolina didn't retire. And those are it. That's it. We matchmaked for everyone on the card. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is what it is. The time is now 11:01. You should go ahead and watch MK Morning Combat. Check out my boy Luke on there. Check out Chuck and Luke Thomas. Check out all the guys. You know, spam them one more round emojis. I know they don't have them in their chat. I'm just saying. You know, voice for Gaff to get on the show out there. What are we doing, guys? Come on. All right, they should fast track, and she should become a huge star. She's older. That division's weak as fuck. She could be top 5 in a couple of fights. You never know. Throw her in there. Give Bia the Juliana Pena. She crushes Pena tomorrow. You never know. Give Bia Zombie Girl. No Zombie Girl. No Zombie Girl. The morning streams get me every time, says Gal agrees. And then more likely to see him in UFC BJJ. He's worried about CTE. Damn. And then, bro, I still can't believe Arlovsky's BKFC heavyweight champ. Dude's been fighting for 3 decades and viciously KO'd 20 times, right? Crazy to see. But appreciate you all. Thank you to everybody that pulled up to enjoy the show. Sorry about yesterday's show. It looked like shit. It is what it is. Matchmaker Monday went much better. Hope you guys pull up for TKO Tuesday tomorrow. We have Hump Day on Wednesday. Go check out Morning Combat. Show them some love. Make sure you tell them to get Gaff on the show for Morning Combat. Appreciate you guys always. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm out.
Then you will deny I'm a sick talent. Whole music industry is imbalanced. I just managed to smoke weed and get panties and I pull. Cause I'm really not a chick magnet, but I'm cool. I am back at it. Love crime, I have savage. I already lost my mind and I crash planets. Yes, I do it all the time and I can't stand it. I am back at it. Yeah, high like a crack addict. But I'm really on my grind, I ain't outlandish. I'm just steady trying to fly cause I'm now stranded. I am back at it. Love crime, I gyro.